everyone? I'm Robert Parris, and he is
Mike Espejo.
And welcome to our first edition of our new show, Good Sports. Well, it's been a journey, Mike. I know this is our first edition. I'm sure we're both excited to get things going. So let's talk about what Good Sports is.
Sure. First I want to say I'm looking forward to starting this show with you, and what a cool intro that is. Very, very professional here at BCAT. So Good Sports is going to be a sports show, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And what are we going to talk about?
Good sports. Well, more specifically, on our first edition today, we're going to talk about the biggest game of United States history and more worldwide history, the Super Bowl, between the Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers. And what a game it was.
But other topics we'll cover are just all across the sports spectrum. We'll talk about football, basketball, local sports here at the high school, maybe some college we'll dabble in. We'll talk about things we love about sports. Maybe we'll get wild into a sports movies episode. We really just want to cover the wide world of sports for you, the viewer, and pretty much talk about why we love them so much and what makes them so fun.
Yeah, BCAT, worldwide of sports.
Absolutely.
In like Disney World and stuff like that. But let's get things going by talking about the rematch of 4 years ago, the San Fran KC Super Bowl 58, which was in Allegiant Stadium on CBS with Tony Romo, Jim Nantz, Evan Washburn, and Tracy Wolfson.
Well, very good. I love Tony Romo. I think he really adds to the broadcast. And whenever there's a game with Tony Romo, I'm definitely paying extra attention. He just gets it. And I think a lot of times you have like ex-players who are broadcasters and journalists, and sometimes it doesn't always translate. They know the game, but they can't really explain the game. And Romo just does a great job of explaining things. Gets a little wacky sometimes, but don't we all? But I just love, he's I think my favorite color analyst to listen to in football.
He used to do like predictions and stuff. He'd be like, for instance, when they played KC in the championship game a couple years back, they said, Brady's going to do a run here. I know it's going to be a run. And it was a run. And then it's like, he's going to throw to Gronk right down the middle. And he did.
And he used to do it a lot.
I know.
They must have been a producer or someone that said, Tony, let it play a little bit. You can make some calls, but don't try and call the whole game, because it was getting a little annoying. So they I think they fixed that with Romo.
Yeah. All right, Tony, we're going to take you to Vegas. What do you think is going to happen? Like if you still did it. But first off, scoreless first quarter.
First quarter. People who had 0-0 in the squares were happy.
Yeah.
That's about it, right?
Yeah. Did you do squares?
No, I really don't I never do them. They're always done for good causes and like charities and teams raising money. But I feel like I'm so competitive that I am trying to I will get bad numbers because I have bad luck in life. And I'll get the worst combinations, and I'll be like, if I just get 2 safeties and an extra point somehow without a touchdown, I'm in the money. So I stopped. Usually I'll just give a donation instead, or I'll get the numbers and say, don't tell me if I won or not, or the numbers, just if I win the money, just give it to me. But I don't like those things.
Right. So the first score of the game came from Jake Moody, 55-yard field goal.
Which was a NFL record for a Super Bowl, 55 yards.
For a very short time.
Yeah, he was lining up. I was like, no chance. But they're in a dome, and conditions are perfect. But it's, again, biggest game, most watched game for American sports, and he nailed it.
I thought the game was going to be close, but I never thought this close.
Yeah, it was very close. Yeah. Well, the spread was only what, 2.5. It varied, 1.5, 2.5, and San Francisco was favored. And we did make some predictions.
Yep.
My pick is going to be the Kansas City Chiefs, 31-27. MVP is Pat Mahomes, and my Swiftie sightings, I'll go with 12.
Wow. I'm going to pick the San Francisco 49ers. 33-31, field goal game will win it. MVP will be Christian McCaffrey, and Swiftie sightings, I'm going to say 8.
All right, we'll see if we're right or not.
Let's see. I was way off.
Yeah,
I was way off.
Yeah.
But you had some correct. Patrick Mahomes, MVP.
Yep.
And there was 11 Taylor Swift sightings, and you said 12, and I was way off.
That was pretty close. But in all fairness, I did waver on my pick because when you did your previous BCAT prediction, I did pick San Francisco, but I had a change of heart between tapings. So I don't know if my pick is really validated because I won either way, and I was going to take credit either way. So probably not fair, but...
How do you think Mahomes did in the first half? Feels like he was struggling enough because he was kept running around all over the place and he had trouble finding receivers.
Yeah, I think he had a little trouble getting into a rhythm. He had a couple drops too. But that guy, he really scares me. He's so good that he's always in the game. But yeah, it definitely seemed like they were off. They weren't on the same page, and he was off his rhythm just a little bit, which was surprising because, I mean, this was his fourth Super Bowl. So you'd think that he'd be more experienced, but also he did have, other than Kelsey, he had a very young receiving core with Rice and some of those guys that he didn't have much experience, and they had trouble during the year with the receivers too.
So right before the half, a 28-yard field goal by Butker did get the Chiefs on the board. They were down by a touchdown, but not going into the locker room. I'm sure that's not what they wanted. Obviously, you want points, but they obviously wanted a touchdown. And I know Mahomes, when he played Indy, I think maybe not this year, but last year, at halftime he was telling he's the offense coordinator for Washington Commanders, Eric Bieniemy. He's saying, I want more points. So I know he probably didn't want that, but it's just like, you got to get what you got to get.
Yeah, I was rooting for San Francisco, and I knew that the Chiefs, since they got the ball to start the second half after winning the toss and deferring, I know with Mahomes you always have to be 2 scores up because he can change the game.
Yeah, he's like I need to get, because I know he always wants more and more and more. And he can do that in one game. I mean,
he can score in a minute. So if you want, I was rooting for the Niners, and if you want to beat Pat Mahomes, you've got to be 2 scores up comfortably. And I knew, even though they only got the field goal to end the half, as you mentioned, they were getting the ball to start the second half. And anytime Pat Mahomes has the ball in his hand, he's scary.
Now, there were a couple of mistakes, again, both on San Fran. Let's first talk about the Dre Greenlaw injury. He injured himself, non-contact injury. He was celebrating after they punted the ball away, and he was celebrating, and he was going to go on defense. He was jumping up and down and hurt his leg, and that really was the San Fran downfall.
Yeah, I think we'll talk about this a little bit later when we talk about Pat Mahomes and how the mystique is building. It feels like when you get a dynasty like this, and we'll talk about that if the Chiefs qualify, which I think they do, and we saw it with the Patriots, like things just start to roll your way. Like it just seems like the football spirits kind of start to ride with you. And there were a couple weird things that happened in the game, like the non-contact injuries that started going Kansas City's way. And I mean, the linebacker, the linebacker that got injured on the sideline running on the field.
Greenlaw.
Greenlaw.
Dre Greenlaw.
Yeah, that's right. He's really good.
Yeah, so that was bad.
Yeah. Bad but good for KC in the football sense.
One other thing that drove Kansas City's momentum was the fumble. The punt fumble by San Fran. He apparently touched his foot or someone's foot.
Right.
And he tried to go after it, and maybe that was I think it touched the foot before he went after it. Right. So that's probably why it's just like, I thought it didn't hit the foot.
Yeah, he was trying to tell everyone to get away, but then when he saw it hit his teammate's foot, that's when he tried to get it, and that's a huge turnover for the game because you don't want to give Pat Mahomes can score from anywhere in the field, but you don't want to give it to him inside the red zone, and I mean that's like pretty much putting the points on the board.
And like first play, 16-yard touchdown pass to Valdez-Scantling. They're up now. Well, again, they got a field goal in the third quarter, and then after that happened, then there was 13-10.
Yeah. And at that point, you could kind of feel the...
And it's just like, I knew at that point, it's just like, Kansas City's going to take this.
Right.
Purdy was scaring me a little bit because, again, first game, so I'll give him credit for that, but it's just like, there was one, I think it's Feliciano, who was the lineman. They had it at a different angle. He didn't really block anybody.
Yeah.
The guy went around him. He tried to block someone else. So I think that was another mistake by the offensive line of 49ers.
I think that whole sequence of events where they fumbled the kickoff and then Mahomes scores right away, you just felt like, like we know it's good. We've been here before. Yeah. We've seen this horror movie before. We know what's going to happen.
It was, and then like we went into the fourth, and it was just going like back to back. I mean, it was getting down to a nail biter.
Yep.
And after that, it was the entire overtime period.
Yeah, one of the frustrations I think I had during the game, and I think a lot of people were talking about, was how Kyle Shanahan, the San Francisco coach, he got a little pass happy. And he has, I mean, as we know from the BCAT Fantasy Football League, he has the best running back in the league by about 500, 600 yards. I mean, you give that guy the ball, and he's going to get you positive yardage. And even like first down, run the ball. Like, run the darn ball, Kyle.
They didn't utilize him enough.
No, they didn't. And
he had one fumble, but I mean...
Yeah, he did have the fumble in the first half, but you still keep going to him. That's your horse all year, and their offense pretty much centered around McCaffrey all year. You run that guy until you ride that horse all the way to the barn.
No screens either.
Yeah.
Did they even try any screens? I know they did like they did the
trick play.
Yeah, with Jennings.
That was really cool.
That was good. It's just like, why do we have any more of those?
Right,
It's just like once a game, it's just like, let's try some more. We were down, but again, I'm sure that they were getting nervous.
Yeah.
San Fran is like, all right, again, you have McCaffrey, as you said.
Yeah. Let's
put a little screen in there. Let's do some like trickery, but I guess they just did that one trickery thing. It worked, but I mean, like, let's try a little bit more than Casey wouldn't expect it.
And they had Deebo Samuel, who was fighting an injury a little bit. George Kittle, like, they have so many weapons on San Francisco, a lot more than Kansas City. But Kansas City had the Mahomes factor.
Why didn't they utilize Kittle?
Kittle.
It's just like, you want to ask these questions to Shanahan. He's probably like,
yeah.
But
so they went to overtime.
Yeah, they used the entire overtime.
Yeah.
But 2 seconds were left in that overtime. So
and there's only been 2 overtime games in NFL history, and one of them was the famous 28-3 game.
I watched that live. Everyone went to, well...
I think everyone did.
I watched it.
I don't watch a Super Bowl taped.
No.
Breaking news, folks.
I think I watched that, and as soon as the Patriots got the ball and it was White got the touchdown, I think it started to break down crying. And tears of joy. I'm like, oh my goodness, they did it.
Offensive coordinator of Atlanta Falcons was?
Kyle Shanahan. So there we go again. He has, I mean, everybody's saying like he has a known for blowing leads.
Yeah.
But I mean, what, a 10-point lead in this game, and then they face KC 4 years ago, and that was a 10-point lead again, and then KC blew out the water. But again, they just proved that they can win without Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, they did, yeah.
But I mean, if they utilize all their players, I mean, Kelsey, he didn't get a touchdown.
No. He did yell at Andy Reid a little bit.
Yeah, I want to know what that was about.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, and then we saw the Swiftie sightings, 11 of them. I mean, yeah, it just, right when you kind of felt it in the second half that KC was going to find a way, and that was that. They did.
So let's talk about the atmosphere. How was your Super Bowl party?
Super Bowl Sunday is one of my favorite days. Everyone gets together. We always bemoan the fact that it's a Sunday night, and everyone's, why don't you move it to a Saturday night?
Yes, they should. Let's do it right now. If you heard it here, folks. Well, maybe not. We need to move the Super Bowl to a Saturday. Now, if they add another game to the regular season,
which they're going to, I think,
Super Bowl would be on President's Day weekend.
Perfect.
And just like, I know Goodell's like, we don't do that. They're going to do it eventually.
Yeah. And I don't know. We may not be the first people to ever make the suggestion to move it to another night.
No.
But, so yeah, Sunday night's tough, but I mean, again, it's like a national thing, and even though people who aren't football fans love the Super Bowl because of the halftime, the commercials, another excuse for people to get together, and up here in the Northeast, the cold winter. It's always just a fun, favorite day of mine. I went over at a small gathering with some friends, and too much food, a lot of drink.
You never have enough food.
Yeah, I don't know. These friends I went to, they had a lot, and a lot to drink, but I really didn't drink that much. I wanted to kind of enjoy the game, and it was fun. It was just fun, just getting together with friends and eating good food and watching football. Like, what's better than that?
Anything specific for the food?
No, we got the typical stuff: pizza, mac and cheese, sandwiches.
Oh, was it homemade mac and cheese?
No, bought it.
Oh, you bought it?
Bought it.
No, like it was like the home style sort of thing.
Oh yeah, I guess. I don't know. I'm not a mac and cheese connoisseur. I don't know.
I'll tell you what we had.
Oh yeah, tell me about your Super Bowl party.
We had chili, chicken wings that were marinated in sriracha and butter, so they were pretty, but they were very small.
Did you make those?
No.
Oh.
I did buy some dessert, but we'll talk about that in 1 second.
Okay.
So we had chili, wings, we had sausage, pepper, and onions, we had cheese and crackers, we had, I'm trying to think.
Oh, I should have went to your party. Apologies to my friends.
Buffalo chicken
Sounds
dip.
Good. Did you make anything? Is there a Chef Robert creation in there anywhere?
Egg salad, tuna salad. No,
Oh, you
I
make
didn't. No, I make that on the side, but that wasn't for the Super Bowl party.
all right.
My brother-in-law, my sister brought pizza from Joni's, who Dave Portnoy just went there.
Oh, Tewksbury. Yeah, I've been there.
And he actually got it, ordered it on Friday.
Oh.
To pick it up on Saturday because they open at, I think, noon, and then they close whenever they run out of pizza.
And they picked it up Saturday?
Yeah, he picked it up Saturday.
And then you reheated it Sunday?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was like a buffalo chicken one, eggplant one with like basil and
How was
mozzarella.
that?
Oh, it was good.
Oh, it was good.
It was good.
Okay.
It was delicious.
The
And then like a
change in
cheese one.
your volume told me exactly how
it was delicious.
Good.
I give it
How
like
many people are at this shindig? You have a whole spread.
my aunt, my 2 cousins, my brother-in-law, my sister, my nephew, my parents,
Wow.
me, and then Clementine the dog.
Oh,
who's
nice.
a golden doodle, and she's very.
Oh, great. Yeah, so it's a fun day, good food, getting together, family, friends. It's always it's a little celebration.
Dessert? Any dessert or?
There was dessert, but I was so full from all the food, I didn't even look. I can't even remember what it was.
So I bought dessert because you said if I made anything, I didn't make it, but I bought it. I bought a football Carvel cake.
Oh.
1 pack of jelly donuts from Market Basket. Another pack of Boston cream donuts from Market Basket.
Do you have a donut for dessert, or?
I did.
Oh, okay.
I actually had a donut and a piece of like the Carvel cake.
Oh, okay. Was it ice cream or regular cake?
Ice cream.
Oh, of course.
Ice cream. Like
Nice.
the football shaped and chocolate covered strawberries.
Wow.
No chocolate and dark chocolate.
Wow. The Parris family goes all out on this. Wow. That's better than my Thanksgiving, I think. All right, so let's talk about what else? The halftime show.
Yeah.
What do you think of Usher, the halftime show?
He actually spinned about 16 or 17 times because my sister and my brother-in-law were in a pool and they predicted how many times he spinned.
Spin around?
Yeah, like he does like a little like 360, 360.
Oh, wow.
But he was great.
Okay. You liked it?
Yeah, but there was a lot of things going on at once.
There was a lot going on.
At the very beginning, you can see he's coming out in the stage, and he's like going down the stairs, and there's like too many people surrounding him. I thought they were gonna be like backup dancers. I'm like, all right, this is getting a little overwhelmed for my liking. And then all of a sudden, it got better. He had a couple of like Little John was there, and he had a couple of guests.
I like the Little John part.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like it. I'm not really an Usher fan. I love the spectacle, and I love like all the lights. Like,
Yeah.
I was mostly looking around the stadium.
Yeah, they do like do.
Yeah, like little like.
We can do it here. We can do all crazy like a light show.
Yeah.
But I know you asked me earlier, actually off camera. You said what halftime show was my favorite.
Yeah, it's very important for good sports.
You know what was a good one?
Good topic.
Maroon 5 was good.
Oh.
A couple years ago, and then Shakira and was it J-Lo? Shakira and J-Lo.
Yeah.
4 years ago, Casey San Fran.
Yep.
That was really good.
Cool.
But yours?
Mine was I'm a little partial because I went to this Super Bowl. It was the first Super Bowl the Patriots won.
You went to the Super Bowl the Patriots won?
I went to 2 Super Bowls the Patriots won. It was the first one, Super Bowl 36 in New Orleans, and it was right after 9/11. And U2 played the halftime, and they did a big thing, and they put all the names up, and it was very emotional. It was very well done. And the other Super Bowl I went to was the Malcolm Butler Super Bowl against Seattle.
That must have been amazing to watch.
Yeah, it was the greatest sporting event I've ever attended. And Katy Perry did that one, and she was great. But I think last year's was one of my favorites with Dr. Dre and all those guys.
Yeah, they were.
Eminem was in there, wasn't he?
Yep.
And I really enjoyed that one. And I mean, Prince, obviously, another great one. Bruce Springsteen's was great. There's so many great ones. And that's another part of the spectacle and pageantry of Super Bowl Sunday is the halftime show and how that's going to go. And like the national anthem, we had Reba McEntire.
Yep.
What did you think of Reba McEntire with the Star Spangled Banner?
She did it really fast. She did the national anthem really fast. Like it was like under a minute.
But it was really good.
Yeah, it was good.
She was good. And then they had the America the Beautiful by someone named Post Malone,
Yep.
who I'm going to show
Austin
my
Post.
Yeah, I don't know really who that is.
So he is like
He has a lot of tattoos.
Yep. On his face and stuff. He's
Yeah,
like
I'm probably getting
hip-hop,
mocked for this.
a hip hop sort of star.
Hip hop guy, yeah.
His birthday, fun fact, his birthday is Independence Day '95. So, I mean, he's like he's a really nice guy. I've seen interviews with him. Never met him, obviously, but
He did a great job.
Yeah,
Don't
he
get
did
me
a
wrong.
great
Yes,
job,
nice.
and he's a Cowboys fan.
A Cowboys fan. Yeah.
Because I think he's from Texas, but I know he's a Cowboys fan. So I think they did show him at one of the points in the game, and he was wearing his Dallas Cowboys sweatshirt.
Oh, okay.
So, but he did really well.
Yeah, they were both great. I thought I didn't know who he was, but I thought it sounded very nice.
Yeah.
But he had a lot of tattoos.
Yeah, he had a lot of tattoos.
He did. All right. What else? Another great thing about Super Bowl Sunday is the commercials. We've got to talk about the commercials.
I got a couple written down.
What were some of your favorites? What'd you like? What didn't you like?
Let's start with the Arnold Schwarzenegger State Farm.
Oh, yeah. That was great.
Neighbor. Arnold, it's neighbor. Neighbor. And then they basically, yeah.
It was almost a play on, that was the way Arnold speaks because his accent, but it was almost, it felt like a Boston accent.
Yeah,
play
so
also.
that's like saying, Robert, it's chowder. Chowder. I mean, I say chowder. I don't say chowder. I mean, I say
You
car.
say chowder?
Yeah, I say chowder.
Why?
I don't know.
Oh.
What's
Breaking news, folks. Robert says
chowder. Chowder.
It's
Chowder.
chowder.
I say chowder.
Oh, our first fight.
What is there's another word that some people use, and it was like,
Park the car in Harvard Yard?
no, it's like not about. It's another word. Idea.
Idea.
I say idea. Idea. Not idea. Some people say idea.
I say idea.
My parents have an accent, so it's just like idea.
Okay. Yeah, so the back to the commercial.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that one. What other ones did you like?
The Hellman's Mayo with Kate McKinnon. The cat was there and she kept saying, meow. It says like, mayo, mayo.
I love Kate McKinnon. I think she's very polarizing. You either love her or do not love her.
I saw her in Barbie. I actually watched that
Oh.
last week. Did you see it?
I have not.
It's good.
It's good.
It's good.
You'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
Other ones you liked? We didn't even get to the best one yet.
2 Brady commercials. The Duncan one.
The Duncan one was the star of the show.
It feels like Brady was lost in that commercial. It feels like he didn't even he looked.
Bite your tongue, sir. That's the greatest quarterback of all
No,
time. He
I'm
knew
just
where he was.
I know, but it's just
He wasn't Bob Dylan at We Are the World. He knew where he was. It's fine. I wanted to give Tom Brady the Super Bowl MVP for that, but I don't think he qualified. No, that was great. They played off last year when Jennifer Lopez drives through the Dunkin' and Ben's working. And this year he's like, last year she came to my work.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah.
I think, the New England loved that one, and probably the rest of the country was probably meh on it.
You can actually buy the jump.
I know.
I think you and I should buy for the next episode.
I don't know about that.
We'll be like in the movie. I know this is off topic, but Jack and Jill, Adam Sandler, they had Al Pacino, Dunkachino.
I don't know if I'd look good in that jumpsuit. Maybe you can get it.
I'll get it, and we'll do.
But I love that one. What else? I liked. Another one I got to bring up is the BMW commercial. Christopher Walken.
That was good.
Your car, and they were making fun of his accent. A lot of accent play in the Super Bowl.
I
But I love Christopher Walken. I thought that was really brilliant. Really fun for everyone he saw to play with his accent, and getting his coffee and walking his dog, and everyone was kind of. That was really, really funny. I love that.
There's the Brady crypto. Was that crypto? Well, the other Brady, the brother commercial with Vince Vaughn and Brady was in it.
Oh, I don't think I saw that one. What was that one?
It was basically
It might have been in the little boys' room.
It was he's Vince Vaughn saying, yeah, you can get that, and he's like, not for you, Brady. You already have too many.
Oh, so
like basically saying like, Brady, you have too many Super Bowl rings.
So that's the tough thing about the Super Bowl is if you like football and you like commercials, you don't really know when you can go to the bathroom or get up to get food or because you don't want to miss anything.
Yeah.
Like I'm like locked in.
Why don't they do more commercials like that every day? Like put on so people can get engaged. They don't need to go get up or go somewhere like, I gotta change the channel. It's another 10 minutes of commercial. You know what I mean? Well, so if you want to engage people, let's do it that way.
Well, I think generally they do try and make interesting commercials,
Yeah.
but I think they bring out their best stuff because the Super Bowl is so widely viewed. And one thing I learned today, speaking of the halftime show, I didn't know this, but the halftime performers do not get paid.
Really?
CBS pays, I think Apple Music pays whatever it was for the rights, because the Apple Music halftime show, and that goes to wherever it goes. And but every performer pays for free. And the rub is, the sell is, the exposure is so great that it's worth it for them to do it for free, because they're on so many, they get so many eyes on them, so much publicity. I think that's the reason Usher, right after Super Bowl, announced the 24-stop tour. But I think I read like all the impact that it has on like downloads of their music, ticket sales, concerts after a Super Bowl. It's huge, and that's why it's worth their time.
Wow. Well, if they're going to do that for free, I think you and I should do a halftime show maybe next year in New Orleans.
Yeah, maybe. We'll have to see if Good Sports takes off. Maybe.
Yeah, we'll go to New Orleans.
We'll do the halftime show as a
and
Good Sports halftime edition.
It's before Mardi Gras, I think.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is long before.
Yeah, I think that they just released the logo. It's
Oh, I saw it. Yeah.
It's like green and.
Yeah. But interestingly enough, back to that Super Bowl 36, it was right after 9/11, and they postponed a week. So everything was pushed back a week, including the Super Bowl. And the week I was there was actually Mardi Gras week. So I got to experience Mardi Gras and the Super Bowl in the same week. It was kind of like, the best of both worlds. So
how was that?
It was good.
Anything that you remember, like specifically, that was like really fun?
Well, New Orleans is such a great city.
Yeah.
The food's incredible.
They have the shrimp, a lot of shrimp.
There's a lot of shrimp there, yeah.
I love shrimp.
Yeah, shrimp is a big thing.
Do they have any like Cajun spicy stuff? Because I know
there's a lot of Cajun spicy stuff in New Orleans, yeah.
Air Counter, obviously it's all from New Orleans, but like at Border Cafe, they're like Tex-Mex. They have they sometimes are just like Louisiana, like
it's like a Cajun.
It's so good. I
food.
love Cajun.
Yeah, and I think
stuff.
There were a lot of memorable things about that. One of them was that it was right after 9/11, so the tickets were actually a little cheaper compared to other Super Bowls. And what got me was walking into the Superdome. They had snipers up on the rooftops, and they had the Jersey barriers and security. And that was like the first real event after major event after 9/11. So the terrorist threat, still every event was a big deal.
Wow.
And did the metal detectors. But New Orleans is great, and even better than Bourbon Street, I think it's called Fisherman Street, where they have all the jazz clubs, which I think is a lot better than Bourbon Street's kind of like a lot of drunkenness, a lot of college kids. It gets a little crazy, and they do the beard thing, which is fun but gets old quick. But going to the jazz clubs and stuff. I forget the name of the street too, but that's like the magic of New Orleans. And then the beignets, and it's just a great city, great town.
Wow, I feel I should go to New Orleans.
You should.
I have not been to a lot of places.
Maybe a Good Sports on location. Our first on location.
Yes, we'll go to New Orleans.
New Orleans for the Super Bowl.
February, I think it's February 9th or 10th of next year.
So let's talk about looking back on the Super Bowl. Kansas City Chiefs now have won 3 out of 4. They won Super Bowl 54 in 2020. They won 57 last year, 58 this year, but they lost 55 in 2021 to Tom Brady. So I think we can pretty much qualify them as a dynasty right now, winning 3 in a short period of time. And why I'm getting to this is I really want to talk about Pat Mahomes, because I think a lot of people in this area were rooting, myself included. I don't have anything against Pat Mahomes, maybe except his hair. It's kind of a little sideshow bobbish. But he's an awesome player and fun to watch. But
how can you not like Pat Mahomes?
Well, here's the reason, is because everyone here loves Tom Brady and what he's done. And there have been, I think, premature comparisons to Tom Brady and who's the greatest of all time and this and that. And Pat Mahomes is 28. There's plenty of time to talk about that when he's over. He's now 4 Super Bowls behind Tom Brady. I think he'd have to win 5 to eclipse Brady to be the GOAT. But I think this kind of firmly cements Pat Mahomes into the upper echelon. Someone was saying he's already probably better than Peyton Manning in the upper echelon of all-time quarterbacks, winning 3 in his first 7, 6 conference championship games. We're lucky, actually, to have, after Tom Brady, someone like Pat Mahomes to watch, and I think it's going to be fun to see how he does from here on out, and if he has the longevity that Brady showed over a 20-year career. So I'm looking forward to it, and I think that's a lot of the reason why people in this area are rooting for the 49ers is because they don't want to see, Pat Mahomes kind of get close to Brady. And that was my reason, admittedly. But he's still fun to watch.
Do you think he can do it? Do you think he can get to 7? He has a good opportunity to do it.
Yeah, I mean, he's won 3 and 7. Who's to say no at this point? He's won the last 2. I mean, he's at, he definitely can. Yeah. So I'll be interested to follow along. And I think Brady won those first 3, and then we kind of had a little lull, and then he kind of refound his mojo and then went crazy again. So I want to see what happens to Mahomes when, inevitably he's going to hit, maybe a bad run or a bad, set a teammates or bad team composition, and he'll have some rough years. And for Mahomes, rough will probably be 9 and 8. But to see how he bounces back from that, and to see if he has the longevity that Tom Brady had, that's probably fun to watch. And I'll be rooting against him every time.
Now I want to ask you a Brady question. This is
boy.
Off the cuff.
Okay.
Feels like the whole show.
This isn't on the script.
No, it's off the script.
We're gonna ad-lib a little bit here, folks.
I know no one really likes talking about this Super Bowl specifically. Oh. You probably know what Super Bowl I'm talking about. Super Bowl 42 with Michael Strahan, Eli Manning.
Helmet catch.
Yeah. What happened? Again, I was 11 years old when that happened, so.
Yeah. So you're claiming what?
I did not watch it.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't watch it.
I didn't watch it. I really wasn't.
You didn't watch that one live?
No. Well, it was on, but it wasn't interesting to me. I was in 5th grade, so I'm like.
You were probably playing video games.
I was at my mom's cousin's house. There was a bunch of kids there. They were down in the basement. There was a chalkboard and pool tables. We were playing pool and stuff. Yeah. So obviously I wasn't really watching it, but just talk about that fantastic season that they had. And just what happened that just...
The 18-1 year.
Yeah.
Well, to be honest, I blacked a lot of it out of my memory because it was so painful. It's so hard to go undefeated. And even that last game in the regular season at New York against the Giants, they still kind of barely pulled it out. And that was the Randy Moss year. I remember Randy Moss's first game that year was against the Jets in the Meadowlands. And I went to that game. And they didn't use Randy Moss that much in the preseason. Belichick was trying to be tricky. And he went crazy in that first game against the Jets. And then all year, they were just lighting people up, right? And undefeated all the way to 18-0. And just sometimes it's a tough game to win all the time. And Giants had their number. I think that day, the Giants' defensive line was the difference. And that's how I think whenever teams are successful against Brady is when they pressured him up the middle. And the Giants were so good with Strahan and all those guys to get to Tom Brady and get him off his rhythm and have him hearing footsteps. And I think that's ultimately what the difference was. A couple good breaks the Giants' way, but that happens in every game. I think that evens out. But it wasn't their day. And life isn't perfect, and neither for the Patriots that year.
And then Super Bowl 46, 4 years later, they lost again to the Giants.
They did. Again, same kind of formula. The Giants at that point, they knew the secret sauce, right? They knew how to beat Brady. They used the same kind of deal, get him uncomfortable, get him off his spot. Because when Tom Brady is comfortable in that pocket, he's deadly. He can pick anyone apart. But you get him nervous, you get him not sure where the coverage is coming from, you disguise it, which is especially hard to do with Brady because he's probably at that point seen everything. You got to take your hat off to the Giants, and they had a great game plan, a great defense, and you really can't. You can't win them all.
Now, why I'm bringing this up is because...
to torture me?
No, we do not do torture on the show.
Okay.
It's all fun and games on the show.
Oh, fun and games.
Sports is a game. It's
games.
Sports.
Sports are good.
Yeah, sports are good. But I want to talk a little bit about the future of the Patriots. We got Gerard Mayo as the head coach.
Okay.
A lot of shifting things that happened within the month. We got Ben McAdoo. We have Alex Van Pelt. We have, I think... DeMarcus Carrington on defense. So what do you think about all of this shifting around? It's becoming Mayo's sort of team after the Belichick's departure.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting time to be a Patriots fan. It's definitely the first time in over 20 years we had a new coach. We have the very high draft pick at number 3. The first time we picked this high in the draft since Drew Bledsoe. Happy birthday, Drew, today on Valentine's Day.
Oh, it is his birthday. Happy birthday, Drew.
If Drew's watching, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Drew.
Yeah, so it's the first time we picked that high, so we picked Bledsoe in '93. Again, pretty much all new coaching staff. But I think Mayo is someone they've been grooming. I think Kraft kind of learned the mistake of not hiring Belichick right after Parcells when he wanted to, and he went with an experienced Pete Carroll, which, again, great coach, legendary coach, just didn't work out here as well. So I think this time he learned in his business dealings that the best way to build a team is to promote from within, groom your leaders from within. And I think that's what he's doing both on the football side and on the personnel side with Wolf as the de facto GM. So
right.
It's going to be an interesting year. I have high hopes because I think the defense is ready to go. It was one of the best. It was a great defense last year, hit with some injuries to Judon, to Gonzalez. I think the defense is stacked. And the defense, nothing's going to change. Mayo is pretty much has the pulse. He knows how it works. He knows the pieces. It's the offensive side of the ball where Van Pelt's coming in, where the personnel on the offensive side is lacking, to say the least. And they need a lot of help. So at that number 3, I'd love to see them take, my pick would be the wide receiver Marvin Harrison from my alma mater, Ohio State. But I would even though we hated when Belichick did this, trading down and getting more assets because they need so many things on the offensive side of the ball. Yeah. Offensive line, wide receiver.
Quarterback.
Running back, they're probably set. Maybe even tight end if they don't re-sign Hunter Henry. Isn't he a free agent?
Yeah. Do you think they'll keep Elliott?
He was a lot better than expected this year. I thought, I thought we signed him, and even though he is a Buckeye, my alma mater, as I mentioned again twice, I didn't know how much he had in the tank, but he was really great this year for his stages of his career. And when Stevenson got hurt, I mean, I was actually at times more comfortable with Zeke in there than Stevenson. So I'd like to see him. I mean, if he played like he did last year, then and if the money's reasonable, why not?
He'd be a good re-sign. What about Mr. Jones?
Mac Jones, that one, that's tough because he had the great first year, and then we started with the weird bringing Patricia in as the offensive coordinator, and I know what Bill was trying to do there. And then this year we went back to a regular offensive coordinator with Bill O'Brien, and I think the best thing for Mac Jones would be right now is a change of scenery. I think he's had, a different offensive coordinator every year. He's very talented at Alabama. I think he has the skill, but I think he's just, I think we've kind of damaged him here.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much more he can do here. I think a fresh start for anybody, I think, is good in life. And I think for Mac Jones, that would be the best thing. So I would love to see them trade Mac Jones if you can get something for him and just start anew.
What Zappy?
Zappy, even though he's the part of the name of my fantasy football team. Don't worry, be Zappy. I think he's a good backup, maybe like middle of the road backup. He's not like one of the best backups. Right. I don't think you're going to win a Super Bowl with Bailey Zappi. I don't think you can go 500 with Bailey Zappi as your regular quarterback. But as like a third string or a backup, absolutely. If your core guy were to go down, you need him for a few weeks. Absolutely, but I just don't see that it factor from Bailey Zappi as much as I'd like to.
So there is a quarterback, I believe, in the draft, C.J. McCarthy. Am I saying that right?
J.J. McCarthy.
J.J. McCarthy. Oh. Everybody's saying that, he might be like Brady. Well, again, he goes to Michigan, so that is Brady's alma mater. So do you think Patriots would go off the ledge and try to draft him?
Well, just a disclaimer here. It's our first show.
Yeah.
Michigan is the rival of my alma mater.
Oh, I honestly do not know that, so
I think
apologize.
It's the greatest rivalry in sports, and we can talk about this in another show. I think it's bigger than Red Sox Yankees. It's crazy. So I can't objectively speak about a Michigan quarterback. But no, I like J.J. McCarthy. I think he's very good. I haven't seen enough of him to play, to be honest. But as a character and a person, I really like the guy for a Michigan guy. I don't like his maybe judgment in colleges, but I think I don't know enough about. I'd have to do some research on J.J. McCarthy to accurately speak on him.
Wasn't Justin Fields from Ohio State?
He was.
There is a rumor going around that they might trade for him.
Yes.
Your thoughts on that? if they were to do so.
I like Justin Fields, but I kind of want to stay away. I want a traditional pocket passer. I want to stay
runs
away.
a lot.
Yeah, he does run a lot, and I think
he can be injury prone too, because he was out a couple games this year because he's running, he's doing like Lamar Jackson sort of things, and then obviously one hit will do it, and then be like, okay, I can't get up, I can't utilize this because it hurts.
I'm always wary of quarterbacks like that, like Josh Allen, for example, because they're on the run and they can run, but sometimes they'll try and do crazy things and throw on the run. I mean, the only quarterback I think that really can do that, which makes him so special and will make him literally one of the greats, is Pat Mahomes. Because Pat Mahomes can run, he can throw, and he can do like weird, like running one way and throw it the other way, and
or like a sidearm.
For some reason, Mahomes just gets it done. So any other quarterback, I don't trust that. If we're Pat Mahomes, let him do his thing because he's amazing.
Let's see. What do you think about the new dynasty coming up on Apple TV? They're going to talk about the entire Patriots organization on the 16th. So I believe that might be a good documentary. Belichick's in it, so.
Yeah, I'm very excited for the new Apple TV documentary on the Patriots. I think it's based on the book that I think Belichick, seems like it's a very Belichick-friendly, craft-friendly book. No, actually more craft-friendly book than Belichick. So here's a little bit of a slant to it, but I read a review by Chad Finn in the Boston Globe, one of my favorite sports columnists. That would be another good show too, our favorite sport. But Chad Finn said it was excellent and it was really well done, so that got me even more excited. I just read that for this show. It's like a 9-parter or something, 11 or 9.
Yeah, so obviously it's not one episode. I don't even have Apple TV, so I might have to get it to watch it.
Yeah, I might have to get it. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be great, and I think we kind of need that after the rough few years here in Fox Patriot
Someone
Nation.
said that in that miniseries documentary, if you want to call it. Documentary is like one thing. Docu-series, if you want to.
Docu-series.
They said that there was a point where Brady and Belichick were like not agreeing with each other. So that'll be an interesting watch.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's gonna be great.
But Mike, anything else on tap?
No, I think we made it. I think
we did.
Ever good sports episode.
Did.
I think we're off to an excellent start.
Yeah.
Feels good. Feels comfortable.
Yeah. We're just talking, two guys talking, kind of like the Manning cast. Except for just,
two guys talking sports.
Yeah.
Two good sports talking about good sports.
Yeah. We're both good sports.
Yeah, good. A lot of good sports.
We have a helmet here. Do you want me to try it on?
Yeah, let's see if that would fit you.
Let's see.
That'd be a good way to end the show.
Yeah, let's see. Ooh,
this is a very special treat in our first show for our viewers. Wow. All right, folks. I think that's a good note to sign off on. So thank you for watching our first show of Good Sports. I'm Mike Espejo.
And I'm Robert Parris.
And we'll catch you next time. Thank you very much.
Yep, thank you.